everybody, Trevor here. It's been a while since I talked about Thomas, hasn't it? Well, 9 months ago, I've got a request from this user saying that I should do a review on the fan-made Thomas episode, The Good Old Days, which was under the working title, Project Tiger Moth. I know I'm a bit late on this, but I seriously don't care. And I normally don't do reviews on fan-made projects, especially when it comes to Thomas the Tank Engine. But for the sake of this request, I think I should because this fan-made short in particular feels a lot more akin to the classic TV series compared to some of the other fan-made Thomas projects. Now, The Good Old Days stars Toby the Tram Engine and how he got his old branch line back in Season 5, which this episode takes place in. It was uploaded on the Flying Pringles YouTube channel as you can see here. It was narrated by Robert McGee in the US dub, while the UK dub was narrated by Tom Marshall. And to be honest, they both did a fantastic job with this video. But for the sake of this review, let's focus on the US dub since that's what I'm normally used to when it comes to the classic TV series of Thomas and Friends. Also, I will be using some clips from the video in question just to showcase how beautifully made it is. In other words, this review is under fair use, so please don't false flag this for copyright infringement. Anyways, it starts off with Toby feeling glum in his shed while the other engines are working happily. Just then, Gordon arrived.
"Oh, hello, Gordon," said Toby sadly. "Are you pulling the express today?"
"Who else but me?" huffed Gordon.
Now, what I love about this episode is how the models, sets, and camera work look exactly like Season 5 of the actual show because it gives you that classic nostalgic vibe. And that's another thing. We also get to see some stock footage of the Season 1 episode, Toby and the Stout Gentleman, which is a very nice touch.
"It would be nice to have my own tramway again," sighed Toby. "Like having my own branch line."
"Paw!"
snorted Gordon.
"Branch lines are just useless extensions of the important main line. That's all Sir Topham Hatt cares about."
Wow, what a pompous jerk. But thankfully, Thomas arrives to see Toby. He tells Thomas that he misses doing hard work, so Thomas cheers the old tram engine up by taking some building supplies to Percy for him, which makes Toby very happy. As Toby takes the train down the line, we get to see that classic Season 5 camera shake in front of Toby. And as I've stated earlier, the camera work is spot on and feels just like the original Season 5. Unfortunately, Toby couldn't stop thinking about what Gordon had said earlier. Meanwhile, Percy was waiting impatiently for Thomas until he realized that Toby had arrived with the building supplies. Percy then offers Toby another job by taking some trucks of scrap and tree branches back to the yards for him, which Toby agreed to do. Oh, and that's another thing I love about this short. It's the music, which feels exactly like the original score by Junior Campbell and Michael O'Donnell during the production of Season 5. I mean, just listen.
He then buffered up to the heavy train and was on his way. Soon, Toby was pushing the heavy train of freight cars up a big hill.
He made a tremendous effort, but just as he reached the top,
The weight of the cars became too much for him.
as Toby thundered toward the worksite, he saw Percy dead ahead on his track.
"Look out, Percy!" cried Toby. Toby rocketed past Percy into some bushes near the worksite.
Toby shut his eyes and braked with all his might.
Oh, and I also love the unused squinting face that Toby had. Anyway, after he crashed through some bushes in the barrier, that's when he realized that he was back on his old abandoned branch line where the old station and shed were located. Just then, Thomas arrived with the works train and Sir Topham Hatt, who spoke sternly to Toby about the incident, but he's glad to see he's safe.
Though it's a shame you've spoiled your surprise.
Toby was confused. "My surprise, sir?" Sir Topham Hatt smiled.
"Yes, Toby. Our new extension is in fact a restoration. We are restoring and connecting your tramway with the main line and Thomas's branch line."
Oh, so that's how Toby got his old branch line back in the original show. Well, in that case, why couldn't the original writers do this in the first place? No wonder this fan-made short is so well received, because it explains everything about the Toby episodes in Season 5, such as Toby's discovery.
When the restoration was complete, Toby and Henrietta took a special charter of friends, old and new, down the line on an opening run. For Toby, it seemed the good old days to stay.
Now that was a great short. Thanks to Flying Pringle and all the other people who worked on this fan-made project. Oh, and I even loved the part at the very end of the video where they made a tribute to David Mitton, who sadly passed away in 2008. Okay, now for my final thoughts. Now I know I've said that Toby's branch line doesn't deserve to be canon in the first place, mainly because of the old tramway in East Anglia from the Railway series. But in all honesty, I enjoyed the Good Old Days episode because not only it explains how Toby got his old branch line back in Season 5, but also because of the model work and camera shots which give this video classic Season 5 vibes. Not to mention that Robert McGee made an excellent Alec Baldwin impression throughout the entire video, and I would like to congratulate everyone who dedicated their heart, soul, and effort into making Project Tiger Moth. As for my overall score, I'll definitely give it a 10 out of 10 stars because it's really that impressive of an episode. And if you're a diehard Thomas fan like I am, or have grown up with Season 5 of the original show, then I suggest you give this an honest watch. And if Mattel decides to bring back the original Thomas and Friends show but in CGI, then I think they should remake this episode so it's part of the official Thomas canon. Otherwise, it wouldn't explain how Toby got his old tramway back in the first place. But thankfully, Toby's old tramway on the mainland was mentioned in All Engines Go, which is a very nice touch if you ask me. Now let me know your thoughts down below. Do you like it like I do, or do you think it could have been better? Because I really want to know. Oh, and before we sign off, this video will probably be the only thing I'll ever review when it comes to fan-made stuff in general, because most other fan-made projects aren't really worth my time to watch and review. Next time, I want to focus on something that's more official. For example, in terms of Thomas stuff, I'm thinking my next video will be on my honest thoughts on the cancelled Series 25 of the original show, which was supposed to continue where Season 24 left off before it got replaced by that crappy All Engines Go show. This is Trevor Davis, signing off.